had a lot of obstacles in my life. I have been through some abusive marriages. I've had an eating disorder, not supported by my family most of my life, had no backups, no help in life. And I've always managed to push through and get through all those obstacles. I was diagnosed with cancer too, and CLL. That got me into the gym, and just trying to get healthy and maintain physical fitness and feel healthy because I was having some physical ails and health issues. I had to turn it around in order to make myself last longer. And I've just, from all of life's experiences and getting through all of those obstacles, I feel I have gotten stronger mentally, and that has helped me get stronger physically to keep pushing forward. Because a lot of people have gone through or are going through what I've gone through. And this is a way for me to come back and help people through their obstacles and give them encouragement and let them know that they can get through it and keep pushing forward and never giving up. That's been my motto. I have never given up. I've gotten close a couple times, but I've never actually quit. I just keep pursuing and pushing myself forward.
Well, we have a special guest today. I've only become aware of Granny Guns in the last little while since she reached out to me. She reached out to my producer, actually, I think. We'll find out in a minute. Anyway, I'm going to just introduce Granny Guns. Granny Guns, the oldest sponsored female athlete in the United States, began her weightlifting journey at 58 years old and hit the competitive stage at 65. A cancer survivor, Granny staunchly believes in overcoming obstacles to emerge stronger. She serves as an inspiring proof that age is no barrier to making changes or achieving your goals. I agree with you.
Well, thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to my podcast. I'm looking forward to this. So first of all, I wonder if you could share a little bit about what sparked your interest in bodybuilding, especially at 58 years old.
Well, I had some health issues at that point in my life. I had been through some abuse through my life and developed an eating disorder. At that point, I had to have some surgery. And when I had the surgery, it was like an awakening. It was like revelation, time to change. You have to do something better with your eating and being physically fit in order to survive longer in life. And that's what changed me. That was my turning point right then and there.
Did you have someone that you talked to that went along with you on this journey, or is this
actually, my son had transformed himself. He had been a little bit overweight, and he started going to the gym, and he got himself in really good physical condition. And he showed me a video of an older woman who was exercising and very physically fit on the phone. And it kind of inspired me. I said, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And that kind of got me started in the right direction.
And so how long ago was that then? That was, if it's 60, 66, that's about 8 years ago.
Maybe 9 years this year.
Maybe 9 years this year.
I'm 67 now.
Well, congratulations. I think that's really quite an accomplishment. So you've earned the title Granny Guns, and you have quite a following on social media, on Instagram. I got your Instagram and I was looking at it, and you have many wise quotes on there. So tell me about Granny Guns and how it came about.
Actually, I was named in the gym when I was working out. A woman said something to me. Another female said, yeah, I want to get guns like you someday. And I said, well, sure, why not? And then being my age, Granny just kind of stuck with guns, and the name stuck, and people love it. And it's appropriate. I am older, and I have guns. So it works.
It works. Why not? That's right. You work with what you've got, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you walk us through some of the biggest adversities you've faced and how you've navigated to where you are now? Pivotal moments maybe that you feel have inspired you to, or even been trouble enough that you have overcome adversity.
You talking about my whole life, or just in the gym?
Whatever you know. Whatever comes to you right now as interesting.
I've had a lot of obstacles in my life. I have been through some abusive marriages. I've had an eating disorder. I've been not supported by my family most of my life, had no backups, no help in life. And I've always managed to push through and get through all those obstacles. I was diagnosed with cancer too, and CLL, and I've pushed through that and I overcome that. That got me into the gym, and just trying to get healthy and maintain physical fitness and feel healthy because I was having some physical ails and health issues. I had to turn it around in order to make myself last longer. And I've just, from all of life's experiences and getting through all of those obstacles, I feel I have gotten stronger mentally, and that has helped me get stronger physically to keep pushing forward. And through those obstacles, I believe I can help other people get through their troubled times, because a lot of people have gone through or are going through what I've gone through, and you can get through it. And I've been helping people in different ways of my life all along. And this is a way for me to come back and help people through their obstacles and give them encouragement and let them know that they can get through it and keep pushing forward and never giving up. That's been my motto. I have never given up. I've gotten close a couple times, but I've never actually quit. I just keep pursuing and pushing myself forward.
Now, has this been one gym or has this been multiple gyms?
Actually, I've been to a couple different gyms, but my main gym, I do stay there and I am comfortable in that gym. I know the equipment, I know the people there, and I like to maintain that environment. It's a good community. It's very positive. People are very encouraging, and everyone does their own thing, but it works, and it's a positive environment. People should go to the gym, I feel, because everybody's happy. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's trying to get better with themselves, and we all have that same goal. And in the back of our minds, we're all working for self-improvement, and it's just a really good environment to be in. It's a very positive, friendly, sociable. It's just a good environment, period.
You know, I was a personal trainer.
Really? Were you?
Yeah. I was a massage therapist, and then I got a personal training. I guess I took a course in personal training, and then I got the designation. I worked in a gym. I did some training of people. Mostly I did massage therapy, but I always like to be able to suggest what people go do afterwards to feel better, because often you have trouble, pain where you're weakest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are times you should always stretch. Always stretch. You stretch and you warm up before you exercise, and you stretch after you exercise in order to get all the lactic acid out of your muscles so you don't have that pain. And it helps tremendously. I also do a lot of cardio. Now, the gym I go to has massage beds and chairs, lounges, and sometimes I need that myself. If I work my upper back and it's sore, I get on the lounge, and it relaxes the muscles, and it helps a lot. I also have a tanning bed, which I love to do.
What's the lounge? I don't know what the
tan.
lounge is.
It's like it's an elevated bed. It's like a lounge
I
chair.
see. Yeah.
Oh, and it's very comfortable. And with the heat and the massaging, it just loosens all the muscles up and relaxes and lets all that tension out. And it feels really good after a really hard workout.
That sounds like a good idea.
It is when you feel it, when you know you need it. Absolutely, go do it.
Do you think there are misconceptions in the world about someone like you being ripped?
People think I'm on drugs and think I take all these enhancement things, and I don't. It's all natural. It has taken me years to get into this condition and eating properly, and my son's been a very good coach and a trainer for me. He's the one that really got me into this physical fitness. He trains me like he trains himself. I just can't lift quite the weight that he does, but we work out very intensely, and it takes time to get into this shape. And that's how I've gotten here, by consistency, eating properly, and doing the exercises.
How nice to have a relationship with your son that you can continue to see each other under such positive circumstances, you know?
Well, we have
Good
our
for
ups
you.
and downs. We do have our ups and
sure.
downs. We always,
Sure.
we're family. Everybody has ups and downs, but we get through it, and we maintain, we keep it. We've been doing it for almost 10 years now, so it's worked out really well.
That's perseverance, right?
Perseverance, dedication, determination. Yes, not giving up. Just keep going, trying to get better.
And so, say there's a time where you don't go to the gym so much. What do you suggest people do to get themselves back in the gym and not beat themselves up too much, because they didn't follow through with what they had decided they wanted to do?
Personally, I never miss the gym. Personally, that's just personally.
You don't,
except for Christmas Day when the gym is closed, and it is a little bit depressing. I mean, you get kind of addicted to it. It becomes a pattern of behavior, becomes a habit, and it's hard to break. It's a very good habit to have. But when people are away from the gym, I believe you can always get back into it. It's mind over matter. You have to just get yourself up and get there. And you don't have to go back to it full force, because I did that when I had COVID actually myself. And that was very detrimental. I hurt my muscles and I had to recuperate. It took a while to recover. And I did have COVID for about a week and I missed the gym. And it was tough going back. I mean, I couldn't wait to go back, but I was too sick to go back. But when I did go back, I kind of overdid it. And all I can tell people is once you go back, start slow. If you've been away from it for a while, get back into it slowly. Build yourself up slowly. Don't overdo it. Don't hurt yourself, because you're just going to put yourself behind even further. You just, things happen in life and sometimes we miss out, but you can always go back and start again. I mean, there is no reason why you can't. I mean, if something happens, when it passes, just go back again and start all over. And there's nothing wrong with starting over. At least you're doing it. At least you're going after it and you're trying to self-improve. And that's what it's all about. Making yourself feel better, making yourself look better. And mentally, it helps you a lot.
So what do you think about people who are, say, between, I'd say 50 and up, who aren't doing, say they're in pretty good shape because they're active, but they're not doing any weight training. They're not doing any stretching. They're not doing any regimented routine maintenance and improvement of their bodies. What do you think is going to happen to them as they age?
I think that weight training strengthens bones, muscles around the bones, so that osteoporosis doesn't occur. It helps prevent arthritis, the strength in the muscles around the joints. I personally have arthritis myself, but by strengthening my leg muscles, it has helped me a lot so that I don't have problems walking and going up and down steps. I think that exercise will help strengthen the body. And you don't have to go every day. I mean, they can go like 3 days a week. You can't, it doesn't have to be like me, like it's a habit. It also helps mentally. I mean, it keeps your brain clear. It gets the oxygen flowing through your brain and your lungs, and it helps your whole body. And I believe that some exercise is better than none. And weight resistance is definitely beneficial for the whole body. Don't have to do a lot of weight. You don't have to go overboard. And stretching absolutely has to go with it. Otherwise, you're going to get sore, and then it's just going to deter you from wanting to do it again. So if you stretch after you do some weight training and you don't have the soreness, then it'll be a lot easier to go back to it and keep after it. And like I said, a couple days a week, it doesn't even have to be every day. It helps you healthy, keep you healthy, live longer, keeps the body healthier longer.
Because if you think about, elderly people and the troubles they have getting out of a chair, getting up from bed, probably getting into bed, getting up from the toilet, all these things.
I have some of those issues myself getting out of bed in the morning. But you know what? I go down and do my ab exercises for a half an hour every morning. And by the time I do them, I am so limber, things don't hurt anymore. We get stiff by laying still. And that is true. But you just have to get through it a little bit. And the more you exercise, the better you feel. Everything gets loosened up and limber, and then you don't ache for the rest of the day. And I see people in my gym that have had surgery and are limping, people with walkers. I have a gentleman who has a walker. He comes in and he's working his legs every day. I mean, he is determined to get stronger, and he's making progress. I can see it in him. He's doing it. People that have no limbs, they're exercising what they can. I mean, if you really, really want it, you can do it. I mean, people just have to want to do it. And if they want to, they can do it. They can do anything they put their mind to.
So we did some genetic testing when my daughter wasn't well, when she was 17, and when she was 22 or 23, she decided to really investigate what was going on to regain her health. And she had us do genetic testing. And, you find all kinds of things out when you do genetic testing. And one of the things we found out was that some of us in the family had a gene for, if we exercise, we feel a benefit right away. It's like an endorphin rush that you get. Some of us in the family don't have that. We don't have a gene for that. So there's actually some people who go to the gym and they don't get that rush. They don't get that. And I don't know, how do you motivate somebody like that who doesn't feel that, that lovely feeling that you feel when you get busy?
I don't know that I even have the endorphin rush myself. I may have had it at the beginning, but I think that now, because it has become a habit and it is part of my life, that I maintain it. I believe that if people, that they don't have to necessarily have that rush, but they need to know in their mind that they are making themselves better and stronger, and they are making themselves healthier in the long run with the persistence and the consistency.
So, how important is your relationship with your son and probably all the other people at the gym, the support system that you've got there?
It's not just the gym either. I have a fit family, other bodybuilders and influencers in the industry who have become my family. Also, they have been the most support I've ever had in my whole life. They have accepted me. They encourage me. They give me all kinds of positive feedback and make me feel special. And I guess I am a little bit because I am out of the ordinary. But it is a wonderful feeling to have support when you've never had support all your life. My actual blood family doesn't support what I'm doing. They haven't supported me from the beginning. I've been in competitions. I've had none of them have come to see me. They don't ask, how am I doing? Have you traveled? How do you feel about all this? They just don't do it. But in the gym, those people are so interested because they're working out in the gym. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how I'm doing. They want to know about my upcoming events. They are into the gym milieu. I mean, that is, we all have that same focus. They are very positive about it. They're very encouraging. They're very impressed by the fact that, I'm doing all this stuff at my age, and I'm working out with them in the gym, and they're so excited about all that too. Yeah, my family didn't, actually, they kind of tore me down. My other son, I do have another son, said to me one time, "Why are you doing this?" I exercise. I like it. I feel good. It makes me feel good. I enjoy it. And they told me I would never make it. And now here I am helping other people to get healthy and eat healthy and make themselves better in their life and to keep going and give them the motivation and determination to get better and feel better about themselves.
Now, is
And
that
my
through
fifth
your
family,
online, is that through your online social media, or is that in the gym itself? Mostly
both,
both.
actually both. Well, in the gym itself, it's, all those people there are, like I said, we all have the same mindset. We're all there to improve. And they are very encouraging, and they're so excited. I mean, we're working out with Granny Guns. Oh my gosh. And I even have kids come up to me, they're fans, and can I have your picture? Can we do selfies? And, it's very encouraging that I influence people of all ages, from teenagers all the way up to people my age and older. There are people older than me working out in the gym. And actually, since I've been going to the gym, I've seen more and more older people getting out there trying to improve and help themselves and get healthier. And it's very positive and very rewarding to see people actually trying to do that and get better. And I'm just glad I'm able to help so many people. As far as the influencers on social media and the bodybuilders I've met by going to expos and exhibitions and shows, being in contact with them has made me feel like I'm part of that family. I belong there. I'm the grandma in bodybuilding. That's me. I'm the grandma. So, I have Noel Dazell. He's a big bodybuilder. He actually got me sponsored with Rise as the first older female sponsored in the U.S. Chef Rush is worked in the White House. He was a chef for 4 presidents, and he's a big deal. And he loves me like I'm his grandma too. There are so many that I actually feel like they are my family. They are so close to me. I can relate to them. I can talk to them. They call me. We keep in touch all the time. It's like I said, a supportive family that I never had. and it's wonderful. I have a woman, Sydney. She calls me her gym mom, and her daughter calls me grandma. So, and they're both in social media also. And we have Logan Chitwood. He's been with me from the very beginning. He's and he does a lot of anime, but he has been behind me, and we both started out at the same level. We were both beginners, and he's been behind me. He's almost like a son. He has a little boy who's like 4, and he is so cute. One of these days, I'm going to meet that boy. But they're down in Texas, so they're not local. But I will be catching up with them. I am so close to all of them, and I feel like they are my kids, my family, my sons, my grandchildren, and I am their grandma. And it's great. It's a wonderful feeling to
No, it
be
is great.
have a family like that.
When we moved from Western Canada to Boston, to the East Coast,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I had little kids. I had babies, really. This was, my kids are now in their 30s, so a long time ago. But when I had my kids, and we moved into a house in Arlington, just outside of Cambridge, and my grandmother had a heart attack while I was there,
Oh,
and my neighbor's mother had a heart attack, and
oh,
I sent my neighbor's mother flowers, and
oh, that's
another
nice.
neighbor had a baby at the same time that my cousin had a baby, but I couldn't go home. It was way too far away. So I went over and gave them a meal because she had just had a baby. So I supplied a meal, and they ended up giving me their little kids to take care of. And so then my little kids had friends to play with. And so I made a family there
Hmm.
instead. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, I've been lonely. I was very young in my family, and I didn't get much support. I was kind of given a suitcase and said, go live, you know? And
Hmm.
yeah, right. And so I had to realize that, you make family. You make family where
Hmm.
you go. It's your family will come around, maybe they won't, but you make family where you live. So you have people to support, because it's important
Yeah,
to
I
give.
was
Yeah.
I was the oldest, and I was sent out on my way, at a young age, because there were 7 of us, and it was time to leave, and I had to learn to stand on my own 2 feet, and I did that for a long, long time. And there was a time when I even asked for help from my family, and I was told no. So I learned to be very, very independent. I had to stand on my own 2 feet. But then, and as we get older, and as my parents passed away, family kind of fell apart. All the siblings don't really contact each other. They don't, only when they wanted something would I hear from them. And other than that, they didn't keep much contact. So having my fit family and the people in the industry and in the gym is so warm and comforting, that is something I haven't had for a long time in my life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So you say that you help people with their diets. How do you help people with their diets?
I actually lately I've been on a carb cycling diet myself for competition, but I don't do a lot of advice on eating.
Hmm.
I do recommend clean eating,
What do you mean by clean eating?
fresh vegetables, lean meats. You're allowed fruits and or fruits. I don't eat fruit myself because of the sugar content. I have to watch my sugar, and you have to have some carbs, obviously, for energy. I do make my own protein cookies, though, and they are low sugar, high protein, and very, very clean. In fact, I even had Mr. Olympia tell me that he was impressed on how clean my cookie was. And we do some recipes online for, I mean, like protein meals, high protein dinners, things like that. Even high protein brownies. But I advocate protein in the diet for the muscle building. Obviously, you have to have carbs for energy, and I eat a lot of vegetables. I recommend vegetables. You have to have that fiber in your system, and fruits are good too, but natural, clean fruits, not canned, not frozen, fresh
Not
fruits.
processed. Yeah.
Right, non-processed foods, exactly.
Yeah.
That is the best thing. I even had a woman ask me the other day about processed foods. She said, "You don't eat processed foods, do you?" And I said, "Not really."
Well, I think it's funny, we've been making processed carbohydrates for years,
Hmm.
for decades. And then they suggested we make meat out of something other than meat. And everybody went, what? And I thought, well, we've all been eating these carbohydrates they're not carbohydrates anymore. They're processed
Hmm.
carbohydrates with all kinds of additives and stuff in them.
Hmm.
It was an inevitable next step. I'm sure glad people have said no to it, but it's been coming for a long time, I think. Well,
There's a lot of processed foods in the world today.
yeah, there are. Yeah,
You just have to make a
unfortunately.
choice. Just
Then you
have to
have to
make
go
a
to the
choice
gym
for yourself.
twice as often, twice a day.
That depends on how much sugar you eat and things
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. I personally don't worry about that.
Well, you're awfully fit, so you don't have to worry about that.
Thank you. Work hard at it.
So, do you think that there's any changes that have to happen in the bodybuilding industry or in the fitness industry? Are you happy with how things are going?
I focus pretty much on myself. There's good and bad in everything. There are people that try to tear you down. There are people that discourage other people. I mean, personally, I think that you just have to kind of ignore that and stay focused on your own goals and pursue your own ambitions and make your own progress and not pay attention to the negativity that's out there, because no matter what part of life or what you're doing in life, you're going to find people that are going to be negative. There's nothing you can do about that. It's just part of human nature. And I think the best thing to do is just to steer clear of it. Don't let it impact you. Keep focusing on your own goals and be positive. And even if you have to retort to some of that negativity, you just be kind to them, because negativity is just a person's way of tearing you down. And if they're trying to tear you down, they're already underneath of you. So I don't really address it too often. It's very, very rare. I think the best thing to do is to be positive and be encouraging. And some of them even turn it around. They change their attitude completely. They're like shocked. You catch them off guard, and they get a better attitude.
This reminds me of the Serenity Prayer. Just that
The
whole
way
the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot
you're
change,
right,
the courage to
exactly.
change the things I can,
You're
and the
right.
wisdom to know the
Yep.
difference. That my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother taught me that when I was a little girl, and I
Wow.
said, "Grandma, how do you know? The wisdom. How do you know which is which?" She said, "Yeah, that's the trick. You got to learn the things you can
Pay
change and the
attention.
things you can't change."
Exactly. You got to be a little bit aware.
Yeah. Well, if you spend your time worrying about all the other people, it takes time away from your own ability to
Ambitions. Hmm.
find the next right thing to do.
There's no point in focusing on negativity, because
No.
negativity only breeds more negativity. So being positive is the best thing you can do. Push the positivity in this world. It'll help, because we have enough negativity. We need to push positivity.
Yeah, I do Pilates with a trainer. Mostly, I do Pilates in a Pilates studio or at home on a mat because I travel quite a bit. And she said she's done Pilates in more places in the world than anybody she knows. I think we did Pilates one day. We were driving in a tour bus, and I did Pilates with her on the bed. Like I was on the bed, and the and the
Really?
computer.
Wow. That's admirable. That's really being determined to do it.
That's it. Yeah,
That's good. And
yeah.
I'll bet you felt better when you were done.
Oh, absolutely. It helps me so much. I was very, very sick in 2019 with I have like all kinds of scar tissue in my abdomen.
Hmm.
So if I don't do these stretches and this strengthening and
Hmm.
stuff,
Hmm.
I'll have chronic pain, but I don't have any chronic pain.
Oh, exercise is wonderful
The
for that. I mean,
exercise is wonderful.
hmm, yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It keeps everything loose. It keeps everything feeling better. I mean, even if we're, like I said, even in the morning, like if we get up more stiff, the best thing you can do is move. Don't sit still. Don't lay back down. Get
Yeah.
up and move around, because things will loosen up, and they do.
About probably just about 2 months ago, my back decided that it had had enough traveling on airplanes, I think is what it was. Because I'm not a very big lady, and I was traveling on, I don't think the seats were, I wasn't getting enough lumbar support, probably is what it was. Anyway,
Hmm.
I had a bulge at L4 and L5, and my dad had a bad back. So
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I've inherited my father's back. I ended up getting decompression treatments on a DX 9000, which straps you in and pulls you. And so it gives
Ugh.
nutrition into the discs, brings blood
Hmm.
into the discs. And then
Hmm.
when you get better enough, you start exercising again, you can build up the muscle strength. And now it's not been that long. It's been about 6 weeks, and I'm fine. I couldn't walk or sit down or lay down. I was in so much pain.
Oh my, that's
But
terrible.
I didn't, every day I would use my cane and I would just walk as much as I could in front of my house,
Hmm.
right? Until,
Hmm.
and you know, at the end of that, I was still quite weak, even though
Hmm.
I was doing what I could. But I thought if I had decided to get a walker or something, not a walker, but a scooter or something,
Hmm.
just to get where I needed to go. But I gave up
Right.
everything. I stopped going to everything I needed to go to because I had to focus on myself and get myself better and focus on exercise and treatment.
Right. If you'd have gotten a scooter, you wouldn't have loosened everything up.
No,
You'd have been stiffer. It'd have been worse.
and less
Yeah.
muscle. I would have lost all my muscle strength. So
Oh, yeah.
I've been thinking about that, and I thought, gee whiz, that was close because at least I have the history of exercise, so I know that it's helpful. So if I hurt
Mhm.
myself, I know what I have to do to get better. And that's another reason to go to the gym, right? Is because one of these days you're going to get hurt. If you have practiced like you have, if you've studied and competed and you just know, and you have the support system too, when you're hurt, you'll be able to get back at it.
I have started taking a product called True Niagen. And now I
Hmm.
have arthritis in my knees and I had a lot of pain. Last year was a very bad year for me. I was having a lot of pain going up and down steps. I feed horses. I got to go up and down this hill to feed my animals in the morning. And I have some arthritis in my shoulders. And I started taking I was on a panel at one of the expos for anti-aging, and this product was True Niagen. They wanted me to come on as an older individual and to represent the NADs. And they actually had sent me a sample 2 weeks prior to the expo, and I had started taking it, and I hadn't felt any results within the first 2 weeks. But after the expo, within the third week, I don't have arthritic pain in my knees. I don't have arthritis in my shoulders anymore. It has helped my hair actually grow. Some of the grays went away. Believe it or not, it was amazing. People have commented that even my skin tone has improved. The NADs repair at a cellular level, and the product has worked great for me. And I would highly advocate it for people that have some minor pains. It helps get you through it so you can get back into the exercise without any discomfort. It
So
works
now,
really
is
well.
this NAD plus? Is that what it is, or is it different than that?
I do believe it's a concentrated NADs.
Okay.
I'd have to read the label to
Well,
be
that's very
exactly
interesting.
sure, but it works. It's a very good product,
So I
and
couldn't
I've
walk
had
up and down stairs. I had
Mhm.
arthritis in my knees and I had arthritis in my wrists.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't like do up buttons and things and put
Mhm.
barrettes in my hair or hold my husband's hand. Like, I was really,
Oh, that's pretty bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad. Huh? It was pretty
That's
bad.
pretty bad.
And
I
so,
have some neuropathy myself in my fingers and stuff, but that has helped also. So that's been my
yeah.
experience. It has worked really, really well for me.
Well, I'm a lot better, but I have a very, very, very restricted diet. And
Hmm.
the only way I
Well,
could
that has
get
a lot to do with it too. Yeah.
Well, the only way I could get through it was to only eat meat. That's all.
Oh,
That's all I,
really? You
yeah,
only eat meat? No
yeah.
vegetables?
I was down,
Mm-hmm.
no vegetables. I was down to salad and meat, right? So I was just
Mm-hmm.
eating lettuce and olives and cucumbers. I think I was down to that was it at the end.
It almost sounds like a keto diet, almost.
Oh yeah, it's a ketogenic diet that's plant
Mm-hmm.
free because you don't eat any
Mm-hmm.
plants. But my arthritis, when I gave up the last thing, which was salad,
Mm-hmm.
within 2 weeks, my arthritis was gone.
Really?
Really, I was so
Wow.
surprised. I was
Just
so
goes to show how good protein is for the body.
and
It's
that you
very
can
good for the
live on
body.
it. Turns out, you don't need vitamin C if you don't eat carbohydrates. You need vitamin C to metabolize carbohydrates. There's a little bit of vitamin C in meat, and that's all you need.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm. I didn't
really.
know
I
there
know
was
it's
vitamin
wild.
C in meat.
Have you
I
ever
didn't
looked
know
up
that.
Dr. Sean Baker?
No, I don't know the name.
He's an MD. He's called the Carnivore MD.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hmm.
I've heard of some carnivore people out there that are bodybuilders, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I
But
said,
I
that
have
True
a very
Niagen worked for
restricted
me.
carnivore diet too. I just eat really steak and
Hmm.
lamb. It's very, very, very restricted. But I have all kinds of autoimmune troubles, so I
Okay.
kind of have to. But
I
yes,
have a friend.
protein. That's
I have a
definitely,
friend that has the autoimmune. She has autoimmune. She has to watch what she eats all the time too. She has to be very, very careful about what she eats. When she splurges, sometimes she has negative, effects, but she
yeah, yeah,
compensates for it and corrects it right away.
yeah. So
Hmm.
it works for me, and I can do a lot of exercise now that I couldn't do before.
That's great.
Yeah,
Whatever
it
works for
is.
you for each
Whatever.
individual.
That's
That's
right.
right.
I didn't
Hmm.
expect that. It was my daughter because she was sick. She said, "Mom, you know what? You can live without plants." And I said, "No way. Okay, I'll try it." So I did. And now I feel good most of the
You
time.
feel very good.
I feel good most of the time. I mean, who knows, right? You never know. You have to be open, right? You have to be open to finding
Right.
answers.
Well, you kind of have to experiment with your own body and
Yeah.
your own experiences to find out what works for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's body reacts differently to different things. So it's more of an individualized plan that you have to kind of discover. My son
Yes.
did that. I'm still finding out things about my own body, about
Yeah.
things I can eat, things I can't eat, how they affect me, and I'm still learning. And
Hmm.
we continue to learn throughout our life.
We
I
continue
mean,
to learn if we're open minded.
yes, yes, and we have to be receptive and we have to pay attention, and
Yes.
that way
Paying attention, that's one.
we can find out what works for us. Like I said, that the True Niagen, I gave samples out to people at the gym,
Yeah.
and I've had nothing but positive feedback. They've
Oh,
all
how
had different
interesting.
reactions. It's worked for them differently, but it's been a very good product for them also.
I'm going
Some
to look
people
it
it
up.
worked for, some people didn't, but
Uh-huh.
it definitely had a major impact on my life. And I've have people that have told me how much it has affected them, and they are so happy with it.
Oh, well, that's very
But
interesting. I'm going to look it up.
it's worth looking into. It really is.
So here you are. You've competed. You've met all kinds of people in the fitness industry. What is your vision for the future?
I want to do more speeches, more events to help people, to encourage them, to give them the motivation they need, to help them through their obstacles in life. I think from the very beginning, I've always been a caregiver to people. From the time I was in my 20s, I was always caring for other people all along, and I never really put myself first in my life. You have husbands, you have kids, you have business. I was always helping other people. And now in the fitness industry, I can help more people, one with fitness, getting over the obstacles they have in their life, things that I've been through, the abuse, the eating disorders, potentially some of the cancer. I mean, life is full of obstacles, and I want to be able to help people get through their obstacles by going over my obstacles and how I managed to conquer them and get through them and become stronger throughout my life to become where I am now and keep pushing forward. I mean, there is no stopping, and that's how we grow through life. All the obstacles and things that we have to overcome makes us mentally stronger, gives us fortitude, keeps you going, unless you let it tear you down. And I've never let that tear me down.
No, it's a puzzle,
Yeah.
right? Life is a puzzle.
Right. And it's a learning experience. That's
Yeah.
how we grow. That's how we get better. I do plan on trying to write a book about my life experiences. I've had people say, you have a tremendous story to tell. And it was my life, but there have been a lot of things that have occurred. A lot of people can't relate to, and I guess it would make good reading. I want to compete one more time. I'm planning on going into a competition in November for potentially maybe getting a pro card at my age. That would be phenomenal. I'm still trying to get my cookies out there on the market, my protein cookies. I sell them online right now on my website, and they do very, very well. People love them. But we're trying to get them out into stores and trying to find a manufacturer to manufacture them and mass produce them. I have merchandise coming out, shirts and things for some of the expos that are coming up here later in the year. And I want to continue social media to help people out there and give them the motivation and the inspiration that they need to keep going. I don't want to give any of that up. And those are all my goals, to keep moving forward and helping as many people as I possibly can. in whatever way I can, in whatever way I can.
I want to read just one of the things from your Instagram post that to show
Hmm.
people what you're doing. So Granny Gun says, you're going to have doubters. It's going to be hard. It may take a while, but you have to keep going. Remember why you started. Be the best you can be and never give up. And so you have these little, most recently, I look back quite a ways. I don't know exactly when you
Hmm.
started doing that, but I like those. I like those little, they're little inspirational paragraphs, little
Hmm.
poems, actually. They're kind of like little poems of inspiration.
Some of them rhyme.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
When did you
it's
start doing that?
just when. Oh, well, I
Yeah.
can't
Do
tell
you
you
remember?
exactly when. I mean, it's been going on for a while, and it's definitely going to continue because I'm never going to stop encouraging people to keep going forward, to keep positive, to keep trying to help themselves, and to grow from their own experiences and get better. I mean, basically, it's a process of getting better and growing through life. So you never want to stop. You just want to keep going. And
Mhm.
whatever positive feedback I can give them and encouragement to help them along the way, I'm going to continue to do.
Yeah, when you see, I guess you see people, I see people too, but we have to make an example of ourselves. And that's what you're doing. You're making an example of yourself so that people
You
can see
can't,
the outcome of
yeah,
all the
you
hard
don't want
work.
to let them give up. You can't
Yeah.
let them give up. You just keep encouraging them to keep going forward. And a lot of times that's all they need is to hear those positive words to keep them going. That's all they need. I didn't have it through my experience. I pushed myself. But now I have people behind me that make me feel supportive, make me feel important. And that's enough encouragement in himself just to keep me going. And therefore, I'm going to pass that along to other people because that's all you need sometimes is the words of encouragement to keep you going.
Where do you find your
People,
inspiration from?
I don't know, just, well, one, my son's he's a good influence too. I mean, he gives me a lot of feedback, but it's just, there's no negativity. There is no negativity. And life's experiences have made me who I am now enough
Mhm.
to help other people through their lives and to
Are
keep
you
them
grateful
going.
for your past troubles
You
to
know,
bring
you
you where
think
you
you
are?
don't want to think about the past, but it's made me who I am today. I mean, all the trials and obstacles I've been through have made me strong enough to be where I am now. And if it can make me stronger, people can get through their obstacles and make themselves stronger too. I guess that's basically, I can't regret what happened, but it has definitely made me a strong person mentally enough to become physically strong also. And those hard times are lessons that we learn and helps us grow through life. You can't let them defeat you. You have to learn from it and go forward from there.
That's beautiful.
And I have done that.
And now look at you, Granny Guns. I'd like to go to the gym with you. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, it's always fun. We should go to the gym. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
I have a
absolutely.
younger cousin who's coming into town this weekend. She's going to come. She wants to come work out with me, and she's
Yeah,
younger than me. She's
nice.
very physically active, also. But she said, "That'd be my best birthday present in the world. Is just to come work out with you first thing in the morning." I'm like, "Okay, we're going to do that."
That sounds
I
excellent.
enjoy the gym. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I
me
look
too.
forward to it every day.
Well, my that's the one thing that my family had was sports. My dad was interested in sports and he participated in sports and watched them on the TV, I mean it was sports all around for him. And so that's the one thing in our family that it was something that was valued.
I
That was
didn't have
good.
a lot of
That was good.
I didn't have a lot of physical activity. I mean, I worked on a farm. I milked goats, I cut grass. I mean, I did a lot of physical work. But as far as like sports, the only sport I was in when I was in high school, I was a swimmer and a diver, and I like gymnastics, those kind of things. And as you can see from some of my videos, I'm still pretty flexible even at this age. But all through for the last like 40 years, I didn't have any kind of sport activity. It was all the responsible things in life that you had to take care of. Yeah. I never lifted any weights till I started at 58. That was the very beginning. And now I do it every day.
Well,
And,
you're
and
inspiring
it's,
me.
you can start out with 3 pounds and work your way up from there. You don't have to start out with heavy weights, but you can do it for
Yeah.
sure.
I travel with these balls, 2-pound balls that I have that are in my suitcase. I travel with
Hmm.
them so that I
Well,
can.
that's good. That's
Yeah,
lightweight.
it's
That's good
something,
without.
right? It's something.
That's better than nothing.
That's
Absolutely. Something's better than nothing.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on my podcast.
Well, thank you,
Is there
Tammy, for
anything
having me.
further you would like to tell my listeners?
Probably just that don't let life defeat you. Keep going forward. Be positive. Don't give up. Never give up. That's like my motto. I mean, anything's possible. I'm a good example. Keep going, never give up, and be determined, be kind, be consistent. If you want to accomplish anything, physical fitness, you have to be consistent, and you have to be content with yourself that you are making progress where you want to make progress. Keep going. Don't ever let anyone tear you down. Just do what you feel is right for you. And that's probably the best thing you can do. And
Hmm.
just keep going. Never give up. That's my motto. Never give up.
Right. Never give up.
Physical fitness helps the mind and the body. By all means, it's good for overall wellness. We should all do something for our own well-being.
We used to ride horses. We don't much anymore.
Oh, you have horses too?
No, I don't.
I have 3 horses. I used to ride too. I used
Well,
to
you
ride all
know,
the time when I was young.
I wonder if people, because most people don't ride horses anymore. We don't have the strength in our inner thighs anymore because we don't use them to stay on a horse.
You're
So we have to
right.
go to the gym. That's just the reality of it because our life isn't what it used. We don't carry water from the river to the house. So now you got to do it in the gym. You can imagine you're carrying water to the house if you want.
I carry water to my chickens and my dogs every morning,
Well, there
when they
you
need
go.
water.
Well,
Yeah,
you do.
I still carry some water. Not big buckets, but I carry water.
No, well,
And
then you do.
yeah, as far as riding, you're right though. Riding would build, especially bareback. It
Yeah.
builds up the inner thighs.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, yep, you're not working those muscles.
Maybe a motorcycle might work.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think so. No, it goes all by itself. All you have to do is hit the gas pedal.
You
No,
don't
no,
have
no,
to
no,
kick
no,
it.
no, no. No, it's not a challenge like controlling a large animal like that. And besides, it's so relaxing to go horseback riding. I mean, I used to love to do that
Yeah.
for hours. I would just take off and go on
Mm.
my horse and just go down the trails, down the road. And it was an escape, but it was so relaxing being out in nature. You're in sync with your horse, especially when you're riding bareback. And it was just like we were both, and even today, me and my horses, there's like, my son says I'm a horse whisperer. I just relate to horses really, really well. And it's something it's unique. I don't know. There's a relationship between you and your horse that some people just they don't understand that. But if you used to ride, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Well, I
I
have
used to race
ridden, but
cars.
not like you. I have ridden, but not like you.
No,
Mm-mm,
it
mm-mm,
was a
no.
long time ago.
Well,
It
I
was,
was from the northern prairie, and we didn't live on a farm. We lived in town.
oh yeah.
And my cousins that had farms, they had cows and pigs and chickens, but they didn't have horses. If they would have had horses, I probably would have ridden though, because
Mm.
horses, boy, to have a relationship. My niece liked to ride horses, and I had another niece who rode a bit of equestrian as well.
Hmm.
So some of my relatives have ridden horses. They're big animals, you know. They're big
They
animals.
are. They
Yeah.
are. But, if you, I don't know, there's something about, I've loved horses ever since I was a kid. And once I got my own and I was able to ride, you just develop a relationship. It's like having a pet, like a dog. I mean, you develop a relationship with them, an understanding. And when you have a contact with one, when you're riding on their back, it's just, there's nothing, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're one, you two are one and the same. You move the slight way, the horse knows exactly what you want. And that's something I'll never ever forget. I mean, it's not the same as a motorcycle.
No, it's
A
not the same as a
motorized,
motorcycle.
yeah,
I
it's
just thought you might squeeze the the seat of the motorcycle the same way, but I don't think you do. I don't think you do because there's no necessity for
yeah,
relating to it like there is
yeah.
on a horse.
I believe it or not, I actually did some racing too. I was drag racing and racing cars at one point
Oh yeah, you have an
because of
auto.
the
You have an auto company?
I had an auto repair facility at
Right.
one time. Yeah, for about, I worked in a garage for 28 years, and my second husband was into drag racing. And I actually did some of that too.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was, that's a different experience altogether. That's having control over a piece of machinery that goes very, very, very fast.
Yes, right.
Yeah, it was something different, but,
I bet you have to be attending very, very
oh, you got to
exactly.
be careful with that. It can be very dangerous, but
Yeah.
once you learn how to do it, it's a little thrilling. I can see why guys do it.
Hmm.
It's a thrill. I get more satisfaction from the gym though, actually,
Yeah. Why do you think you get more satisfaction from the gym?
because it's more personal. It's me working on me. You know,
Yeah.
I
Right.
feel improvement myself, and it's just an accomplishment for me to
Hmm.
progress, to get better, to get stronger, to lift more weight, and to feel better. So,
Oh,
I
I
mean,
wanted to
to
ask
me,
you how
that's,
much weight you lift. So let's see. How much do you do for a deadlift?
I don't do deadlifts.
You
That's
don't
hard
do
on your
deadlifts.
back.
It's hard on your back. Yeah, I wouldn't
No,
do
yep,
deadlifts.
yep, yep. I do whatever's I'm able to do.
Yeah.
I just go to my own capacity.
Hmm.
I push to failure on a lot of my exercises
Right.
because that's
How
what
many
builds the
sets do you
muscle.
do?
It depends on the training that we do. We sometimes do 3 sets. Sometimes we do 5. It depends on the style of training we're doing, whether we're doing wave training or hypertrophy. I mean, or strength training. It varies, and we do alternate from week to week, different kinds of training.
What's wave
To
training?
It's starting out at like 15 reps at a light weight, going down to 12 at a heavier weight, and progressing down to about 8
Oh.
reps with a heavier weight, and then sometimes you go back up.
Hmm.
So it's up and down,
And
and
hypertrophy would be heavy weights? First,
well, you start out light,
you
and
start
then
with.
as you get lower reps, you get heavier weight. You progress with the weight, and then you go back up again it's a good way to wear out the muscle. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so you change it up. And do you have arms days and legs days?
Absolutely. Every day we focus on something. Today I worked chest and some
Hmm.
triceps.
Hmm.
Yesterday was shoulder day and a few abs. The day before was leg day. Leg day is always by itself. Because leg day is a challenge, and it's a lot of work, but I love a challenge.
So how
And
often, how many times a week would you do shoulders?
we alternate. Sometimes it's 1 to 2, depending on the sequence. And then
And
there's back day also.
yeah,
So, I mean, we do alternate. And some days we do a cardio day just to give the body a break.
what kind of
So
cardio do you do?
I do a elliptical,
Oh
non-impact
yeah,
on my feet.
yeah, I like that
I
too.
do a rowing machine.
Hmm.
I like to do rowing
I like
machine, and I
that too.
kind of do that every day. That's kind of my cool down.
Hmm.
There is a rope that you can do. I do some calisthenics on the cardio days,
Hmm.
so it gives the body a rest between the heavy weight exercise, and it's more like a stretching and body weight exercises. So it gives the body a break. So
Have you
we
ever
alternate.
have you ever done any yoga?
I'm not too keen on yoga. I started out when I started exercising at home, doing videos. There was a yoga routine that we did do. I just don't do it anymore. It's pretty much bodybuilding now.
In terms of stretching, though, you do what kind of stretching do you do?
After workout, if I work legs, I stretch out my legs.
I see.
They have the cage. I don't know if there are people that are familiar with the cage. I'll stretch out my hamstrings. I'll stretch out my quads. I'll do, I can do splits, the front and rear splits on the floor to
Hmm.
stretch out, touch your toes to stretch out the hamstrings. When you do chest, stretch the chest.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
When you do arms, you stretch the triceps and stuff. I mean, every day I stretch out whatever body part I have worked just to relax the muscles, and so we don't have a lactic acid buildup, so I don't get
How
sore,
long
and
do
I
you
don't get sore.
how long do you heat warm up for before you start weightlifting?
15 minutes. Usually I do about 15 minutes on a non-elliptical just to get the blood flowing and get everything going through like my legs loosened up and everything circulating.
So 15 minutes of cardio and then at
Hmm.
the end stretching. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Stretching and sometimes a little cardio at the end too.
oh yeah.
We do a little dynamics before workouts too. We'll start to stretch certain exercise. If we're doing chest, we'll start to do a few lightweight like presses and things like that to get the body warmed up before we start into the actual heavy workout.
Yeah, you got to be
And
warm, right? Because if you're not warm, you can injure
you can
yourself.
hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So you warm up the muscles beforehand and you do static holds while you're working out. That also builds the muscle. And we relax at the end and, stretch everything back out so that nothing cramps up.
So like isometric exercises. So
Hmm.
yeah, isometric exercises to warm up before you go into the heavy weight.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good
Yes.
idea. That sounds like a good idea. Good for you. It's inspiring. Good for you. Yay.
Good try, Tammy. You can do it.
Oh yeah, I can do it. I can do
There
it.
you
I just have
go.
to.
Yeah.
The guys I travel with, they go to the gym all the time, right? So I could go
Hmm.
with them. I could go with them.
There you go.
They
Yeah.
would they
Just go.
would they would go. They would let me go. I know they would.
Yeah. Go do your own thing. That's all. You just go in there with them and do your own thing.
Yeah, that's right. You just go do your own thing. And
Exactly.
the more you
Yeah.
do it, the more you'll
The
enjoy
more
it.
you want to do it too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Right, right.
Absolutely. Because you'll feel better when you're done. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and do that static stretching after you're done.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we recommend that to everyone in the gym. We have
How
kids
long do
come
you
up and
hold your
say
stretches?
they never stretch. Stretching only takes about 5 minutes. It doesn't take that long,
How long
really.
do you hold a stretch for? A static stretch?
Till I feel the muscle pull and actually relax. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you could actually, if you stretch properly, you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's pulled out far enough, then it's time to move on to the next move. And it helps. Believe me, I don't have pain, no
Yes.
cramping. It works, and I recommend it to everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was awesome.